contender, including some that either then or now appear especially competitive for the party's nod, satisfied that metric, and so they were never going to make the cut. There was also the issue of practicality. I had to limit the number of potential 2024 candidates I would explore, or I would never finish the book. Or at the very least, I wouldn't finish the book before the first votes were cast in the next presidential primary. These criteria shaped the initial list of White House hopefuls I would feature in the book. All this is to say, you're going to listen to the book and think to yourself, you didn't talk about him, you didn't talk about her, this one can't win. What about this one who can win? I hear you. I don't disagree, per se. But the point was not to predict the future, an impossible task. It was to report out a story that might provide a glimpse of different, possible futures for the Republican Party after Trump was no longer president and, as ex-presidents usually do, disappeared from the scene. Along the way, the story I was telling evolved. What started out as a behind-the-scenes look at the Republican knife fight for the 2024 presidential nomination and leadership of the party after Trump turned into a broader examination of Trump's generational impact on the GOP through the prism of how the 2024 primary might unfold. What sort of candidates were vying to succeed Trump atop the party? How was his presidency, and as it turns out, his continued presence as a major political figure post-presidency, affecting the Republican Party's present and its future? And then Trump refused to concede defeat to President Joe Biden. And then, on January 6, 2021, the former president's grassroots supporters ransacked the U.S. Capitol. What of the implications of all of that? This is that story. Finally, a word on the mechanics of my reporting. Over the course of several months, I spoke to countless Republican Party activists, campaign strategists, insiders, operatives, politicians, and everyone in between with an interest in the GOP and GOP candidates. I spoke with pro-Trump, never Trump, maybe Trump, and pragmatic about Trump. I spoke with used to like Trump and used to hate Trump. I spoke with establishment Republicans and movement conservatives. I spoke with neoconservatives, conservative insurgents, Trump populists and other populists, and Ronald Reagan conservatives. In order to extract their candid insights and obtain coveted nuggets of information, I granted interviewees the option of talking to me on deep background. I could report the details they revealed to me, but would not disclose them as the source of those details. Most preferred that option and took me up on the offer. Where I quote private comments and conversations, this reporting is based on information relayed to me by various sources who are familiar with what was said. Anonymous sourcing has rightly come under scrutiny as it has become more accepted in political journalism. I'm sympathetic to complaints about the practice, especially complaints from readers and listeners. But I have found over the years that the most experienced, knowledgeable political operatives, the ones who are able to tell me what is really going on and why, prefer to remain anonymous. They have clients running for office whom they are not permitted to speak for. They have clients running for office whom they would lose if those clients knew what they really thought. They have clients who would suffer politically if the views of their consultants became public. And some, believe it or not, just don't want their name in the proverbial newspaper. This was a judgment call that I made. Please forward complaints to the management. Chapter 1. The End of the Beginning, but not the beginning of the end. Do you miss me yet? Donald Trump asked. As a matter of fact, the crowd, packed into a Hyatt Regency Hotel ballroom in Orlando, Florida, coronavirus pandemic be damned, was roaring. Nearly 1,400 rambunctious grassroots Republicans greeted the former president.